I'm always in the search of any tool that could help me make more videos and save me more time in the whole video creation process. And when it comes to YouTube videos, across the 6 different channels that we have, I personally create 22 videos per week. And since this is not my full-time job and I do that part-time, I have to really optimize my time. So a while back, I found a tool that completely changed how quickly I could make videos, because it basically takes out the whole editing process. I could record a video like this, basically do no editing, and upload it to YouTube. So I wanted to make this video to show you exactly what that tool is and exactly how I use it in my workflow to create those 22 videos every single week. So the tool is right over here. This is the one I'm using actually to record the video that you're watching. And I just got a different one, a better upgraded one called Atem Mini Pro ISO. And I'll kind of tell you the difference between these two. They actually have 3 different models of this one right here. And then you also buy one of these hard drives. So what this could do, which is doing it right now, is it's recording my camera right into this hard drive. So this is the same one that I have over here. And I'll put a link to everything in the description, so if you want to research it a little bit more. And I could just press a switch and it cuts back to this camera. And then I could go anytime to my overhead camera. And I could also go to my screen right here and show you exactly what I'm looking at. I just jump on their website here. Again, this is the other camera, my overhead camera. So I'm just switching. You have 4 different inputs. So this is input 1, this is the camera I'm talking to. Input 2 is this overhead camera where I could talk about different things. And then I could obviously zoom in this camera and move it around, whatever I need to do with that. So this is input number 4. And I currently don't have anything plugged into input number 3, but sometimes I have my iPad going into input number 3, so I could show you what I'm doing on my iPad as well. And sometimes I'll plug in a phone and do it that way, or just use this overhead camera to record my phone as well. And I'll make a more dedicated deep dive in this right now, but let me go ahead and open this up, and I'm gonna kind of explain the difference between the 3 different models. So this is the Atem Mini, and this version that I have, it's the ISO version. It means when you plug this in and you power it up, all the different signals that get to input 1, 2, 3, they all get recorded at the same time. So if you don't switch live, like right now, I have to physically, with this other one, switch to camera 2 or to my computer. With this one, it records all of them at the same time. So the isolated version of input 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and it will also record what's called a program. Programming means if you switch while you're recording, it will record the final version of that, basically the one you cut live. But the great part about the ISO is if I forget to switch, sometimes I forget when I'm recording these and I'm on the wrong input and I'm talking to this camera, this way it will record all of them. And that's why I was changing from the previous version I had to this one, the ISO version. Now, both of them, though, do let you plug in a hard drive. So this SSD hard drive that I bought, this one, gets plugged in, as you could see what I'm recording to right now. And when it gets plugged in, you get this record option right here, and it records to disk. So this version will record all these inputs at the same time, as well as the final program if you're switching live. This other version that I have here doesn't do that. It basically just records the program, means every cut that I made. Basically, the video you're watching right now, there is no editing. I would just sneak in my hand over here and switch between angles. So then when I want to talk to camera, I just switched off camera, and it takes out the editing. Before, I had to edit this camera and I had to record this camera and then put them all together and then get stuff from my computer. That whole process took half an hour just to organize everything into one version of an edit sequence where I could edit. Now I don't have to do any of that with these kind of switchers. And as you could see, these are all HDMI. So my camera overhead is HDMI. It's going into this switcher here. So I have camera 1, camera 2. My computer is again an HDMI. The HDMI out goes to a monitor, so you could preview everything in front of you. And again, you have up to 4. They have an extreme version of this that has 8 different inputs as well. And then I plug in my microphone over here. What you hear right now is what's plugged in over to my switcher. And I did mention there's 3 versions of this, not the extreme, the ones that are 4 inputs. So I have the one that records to disk that doesn't record isolated inputs. I have this one now that I'm gonna set up in my new studio. And the base version of that doesn't record to disk. So that one's better for streaming, but if you're doing these kind of recordings, you do want the one that has that kind of external hard drive where you plug it in with USB-C and record right onto it. So this is saved me tremendous amount of time and is so well worth it. It's probably the best thing I've ever bought for my YouTube business. So I hope you found it useful. Again, I'll make a more dedicated video on the setup process of this because you do have to set a couple of things up, but I'll set that up when I put it down in my new studio. Thanks so much for watching this video, and I will see you next time.